is Dr. Naida Parson, and this is our third video on me offering you a covenant relationship with God when it comes to your finances. We do want you to be blessed. Yes, we want the church to be blessed. Yes, we want the kingdom to be able to function and to finish the work that God has given us to do. But mostly, I want you to get out of the mindset that life be lifing and get into the mindset that abundant life be abundant lifing. We want you to be financially set, to be in great financial shape. And so we've talked about the covenant of tithing in our first video. Then we talked about 4 concepts. So we talked about tithing, we talked about saving, we talked about taking care of business. This video is about the concept of giving. Giving is kind of an insurance policy. You're always giving to God through giving to people or the church or the poor or some project in the community. In your giving, God said this, Jesus said this, Luke chapter 6, verse 38, give and it will be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over will be poured into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. What this scripture means is that if you are a giver, that God will make sure, especially when you're giving to the kingdom, especially when you're giving to the poor, that God will make sure that it comes back to you. So imagine if at that time they had, say, some grain. He said, I'll give it back to you, good measure, meaning a big old scoop of grain. And then he'll just keep scooping it into your lap, press it down, meaning getting all of the air out of it, shake it together, making more room, and then keep scooping until it runs over. So they understood what he was saying, will be poured into your lap. He said, for with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. In other words, if you give 20 pennies, he's going to measure it back to you in pennies. If you give 20s, it'll be measured back to you in 20s. I've had pennies and I've had 20s. 20s are better. If you're giving it in hundreds, it'll be measured back to you in hundreds. So giving is like insurance policy with God, to where you will find things like checks in the mail you didn't expect, people shaking hands and giving money, your business all of a sudden taking off, engagements and contracts that just come and you don't know where it's coming from. It's coming from this concept of giving. Some of us, if it wasn't for our giving, the way we take care of business, we might be broke all the time. But God will take care of you. He will give it back to you if you will give as you're giving unto him. And so what I want for our congregation is to come into covenant with God when it comes to your financial fitness. And you do it by tithing, saving, giving, and taking care of business. You all, this is the way I live. Tithing is my hustle, and giving is my grind. Won't you become a giver? Give to God out of the cheerfulness of your heart. God, I'm giving just because you're good to me. I'm giving, God, just because I'm grateful. And if you will enter in that covenant with God, I guarantee you, God is going to do his part of the covenant. So again, let's get back to that abundant life.